Well, hello, everybody. Social media world, Facebook, whatever platform you're watching today. It is so good to be back, and it is so good to be back with this group. But hello and happy new year from the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber. My name is Shannon Hawkes, and I am excited to start this year off with such a positive group of people and some positive topics. And we're anxious to just get back in the swing of things here at the Hispano Chamber. We have a lot of changes, a lot of updates, and one of those changes is our committees. So for the rest of the month, we are going to be bringing to you each of our committees. We actually have a total of 12 committees. And these committees are working really hard inside of the community, inside of the chamber, to do many different things, from initiatives to events to trainings and workshops. And we're really going to go back to as though we're all here at the chamber and we're coming in and out all week and we're hosting events, but we're going to stick virtual for a little while. But stay tuned. The minute we can open, we're going to let you guys know. But in the meantime, we're going to highlight all of these committees and what they're doing. And so today we're starting with one of our most active committees, a committee that maintained during all of last year during COVID, and a committee that has built some great relationships and friendships and has evolved. And definitely the last 4 years that I've been here, I've had the privilege of working with each and every person on this screen today. So we are excited to welcome and talk to our Hispano Chamber Ambassador Committee. So welcome to all of you. I can't wait to get started. So I think we should start with some introductions. So I'm just going to go the way you're sitting on my screen so I don't lose anybody or forget anybody. But if you could tell us your name and the company you represent and how long you've been with the Ambassador Committee, that would be at least a great start. So Blanca, you're on my right. We're going to start with you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Blanca Rosa Hernandez with American General Media. What we are is a group of radio stations. Here in Albuquerque, we have 7 radio stations under our belt in this amazing digital platform program. Ambassador Committee, I've been, well, first of all, with the Chamber since 98. The company has been with the Chamber since 1998. So still going strong, love every bit and piece of it. As far as an ambassador, it's been, I believe, 2 years now.
Awesome. Well, we're excited to have you for 2021. Thank you, Blanca. Next, we have Sonia.
Hello, my name is Sonia Armijo. I'm with the PC Place, your one-stop computer shop. I am also co-chair, along with Valerie Martinez of the Ambassador Committee. We have been in business for 27 years now, and 18 of those years have been with the Chamber of Commerce. And I believe it's been about a year or two with the Ambassador Committee, but I was previously with the Ambassador Committee for about 4 years previously. I just jumped right back on, and got right back to business.
Well, thank you, Sonia. Thank you for all you do. We do a lot of business here at the Chamber with PC Place. So we appreciate you always taking care of us. So thank you so much. Cora Lee, you are next.
Awesome. Thank you, Shannon. I am with eXp Realty. I am a commercial real estate broker. I help a huge amount of small businesses gain the space that they need to grow their business. And I help families that are retiring from their business to sell their commercial space. So I've had a lot of fun. I probably sell more Central Avenue real estate, but I'm really enjoying the redevelopment we're seeing in Albuquerque, and I'm so grateful for the Ambassadors Committee because we have a platform for those new businesses to do a ribbon cutting and so forth. So it's a really nice fit.
Well, thank you, Carly. And you've been around the Chamber for probably well over a decade in so many capacities, but we're excited to have you supporting in the ambassador role. So thank you so much. Next, we have David.
Hello, everybody. How you doing? My name is David Valdez, and I am the owner and operator of New Mexico Brief Relief, which is right now has evolved over the last decade into being alternative health and wellness center. I started off with just helping individuals get their medical cannabis licenses in 2010, and it quickly evolved into starting to help individuals that couldn't get licenses to get help with non-THC products like CBD, which immediately started happening, and then it evolved into a massage therapy that we have here now. We sell alkaline medical water here now, a boatload of CBD products and other services in the industrial hemp industry, along with the medical cannabis industry, helping people get their licenses and set up their farms and their personal production licenses, and basically anything related to the medical and industrial industry, other than selling the actual THC products as the dispensaries do. So other than that, we basically do everything else and more. So it's been a great journey over the past 10 years. And the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, I joined, I think, in 2016, and immediately joined the ambassador committee because it was just such a wonderful experience meeting people and meeting other businesses and seeing how my business was growing because I was going to these networking events and meeting new individuals. So it's been a great road, and that's why I just wanted to keep on with the chamber, because it's a great resource for businesses, especially like mine that are small and need as many resources that they can get. And the chamber has been so wonderful to me, and so I love giving back and being a part of the chamber. It's been a great experience.
Awesome. Thank you so much, David. We love having you. And Val, you're next.
Hi, I'm Valerie Martinez, and I'm with Z-Mark on Target Promotions and Printing. And I have been an ambassador and I'm co-chair for, recently co-chair and ambassador member for over several years, and a chamber member for maybe a couple decades off and on. But I know the Hispano Chamber is a great venue for local businesses. And this past year, we saw the Hispano Chamber pivot. And as ambassadors, we have worked together to help with businesses to keep company businesses in front of people's mind. And that's what I do with my business. I keep businesses' name, the brand, top of mind, or company employees, you know, to benefit any type of item that we have to help keep employees happy and loyal to their company as well. But happy to be here today.
Well, thank you, Val, and thank you to everybody on the panel. I'm so excited, and I'll tell you why. Because, you know, at the end of last year, we really had to sit down. Now, we did a lot of pivoting, like Val said. I know everybody hates that word, but I love that word. I get called on it all the time. But we did. We had to learn to go left and then right and then right and then left, and we had to make some changes to stay active and to help our membership. We had to kind of change the way we do things. So we did a reevaluation during our State of the Chamber, which was in December. And if you guys would like to watch that and see all the great upcoming new things that are happening, you can hop onto our website, www.ahcnm.org. And then that way you can get an idea for yourself of some of the things we're doing. But one of those conversations took place around the committees that we have, and what does that look like, and how can we work with the committees, utilize the committees, and how can they also use it to build business? So the committee that came to mind immediately was the ambassadors, because they're out there working in the community with their businesses, but they're also working with each other, which means they're supporting each other as membership. Within the membership as member businesses, but they're also talking to new folks. And so what I'd like to do is I kind of want to start this conversation. One of the highlights that the Ambassador Committee has and does every year is, or I should say all the time, but throughout the years, is our ribbon cuttings. And, you know, of course, this year we've not been able to do ribbon cuttings the way we've done them. We've kind of been doing a little hybrid. So we have an ambassador with a staff member there at the facility, and then we broadcast it online and we film it and all of that fun stuff. But I sure do miss the way that we used to do ribbon cuttings. We'd have these big gatherings and everybody would get together and we'd have a cupcake or two, or, you know, whatever was happening. So kind of want to go around. If you guys could think, what was your favorite ribbon cutting? Where was it at? Who was it with, and why? Because the reason I want to do this little exercise is to show the community the various types of industries that we support, the various types of members that we have, and to just get people excited about being part of the ambassador process, because we are always looking for ambassadors. So throughout the rest of this time, I'm going to say it a lot. We hope that you guys will think, oh, I really want to be more involved. Well, the best way to do it is to be an ambassador here at the Hispano if you want to be more involved and get your business out there. So I think I want to start with Blanca, because she got a big old smile when I said, don't you miss all getting together and reliving those? But we've had so many amazing ribbon cuttings. I can think of 2 or 3 that come to mind. But Blanca, I'd like to start with you. What was one of your favorite ribbon cuttings and why?
You know what? The one that I really loved, I mean, there's so many of them that we had so much fun at, but Buffett's candy.
That's
See?
right. Yes, Al.
Buffett's candy, yes. Like after the whole thing, I still walked out with candy, brought some home, and it was amazing.
You know what I remember about Buffett's candy that I absolutely loved was when Jim Garcia sang and danced with Kathy Ferguson. It was her birthday, and you know, we all got to sing her happy birthday, and of course we all walked away with gifts that day. But that's an example of how much fun we have at these events. And you know, Al Kassam and team at Buffett's Candy, they were so you know, welcoming and inviting us in, and we have a great relationship with them. And I think you for that, Blanca. That is it was a great time. Sonia, what about you? There's been a lot with you.
Yes, there has, but I'm gonna have to start with my own. I have to. In 2018, I had my ribbon cutting. I had a bar, I had a DJ, I had my parking lot as the whole dance floor. Yeah, it's like, and I met new people. I mean, members of the chamber that I had never met before came to my ribbon cutting, and I got to meet them as well, and I built some relationships there. But another one of my favorites, I hate to say, I'm just that party kind of girl, you know. I think it was Affordable Solar on Pan American, I believe. And it was very nice and classy. They had their tables, you know, they had their drinks and nice presentation at the end on the patio. We had this nice ribbon cutting, and, you know, and to see families have some success like that. And it really touches my heart, to tell you the truth. And I enjoy them very much, to see all these smiles going around.
Yeah, it takes a village. It takes a village. You know, business owners have their friends, they have their family, they have their staff, and everybody comes together to be able to pull these off, you know, and that's why we miss them so much, because the camaraderie. It's a little different when it's virtual, but you know, we're going to hang in there, but we can't wait till we get back to what we
do our best to make it the best ribbon cutting ever.
Exactly. I'm curious to see who's going to be the first one. It's kind of who's going to be on the books when they finally reopen, right? So it's going to be exciting. We're going to go all out. Valerie, you're next.
Well, I have to say, I mean, they're relatives of mine, my cousins, Hollow Spirits, you know, that was a great ribbon cutting with Frank Holloway and Donna Montano Salas. And it was great to see family opening up a business, mother and son, and in downtown Albuquerque with the craft spirits and beers, and got to taste the food. And it was great to see. I mean, there was also, we had another event hand in hand with that. There was, I think, I don't know if it was Wells Fargo that sponsored it, but it was an event that some of the different business owners got to speak to as well, and speak with the audience. And that was a big audience, and got to try the food out. So I continue to help and support them and lift them up, Hollow Spirits.
You know, Valerie, I remember that was a hybrid ribbon cutting with a Get Crafty. And so we got to, our Get Crafty is, we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit, but that is one of the events that we do that's sponsored by Wells Fargo. So we had a great time that night. It was an unusual ribbon cutting just because of the size and the amount of people, but you know, kudos to Hollow Spirits for celebrating their anniversary just a month or two ago, and holding strong in our community and really supporting during COVID. So we thank Donna and Frank and team down there. So thank you for that, Valerie. That was awesome. David, what was one of your favorite ribbon cuttings and why? And you have a new space, so you might be doing a ribbon cutting here pretty soon.
Yeah, for sure. So the one that sits with me personally is the Hydro Bar that we did a ribbon cutting for many years ago. And because it became so much a big part of my life, not only because I started utilizing their business and we started becoming partners, but now I'm selling the water we bought in machines, and we're part of this corporation now, and we fully integrated into our business for the
Wow.
last year. So that one really sits with me. And yeah, we just moved into the DD's Discount Melrose location, and we got a really nice spot here. We're finishing up our build out probably hopefully this week so we can do our grand opening or whenever we can do a ribbon cutting. So we're really excited about that. We've been trying to move for years to get a right spot just for our patients and us. And so we finally did it. And we're hoping that 2021 is going to be a good year, not just for us, but for everybody. And yeah, hopefully you could do a ribbon cutting here pretty soon.
So David, I'm excited. Well, first of all, we'll probably have to do like a soft opening because we want to save you for like when we can all be there to enjoy.
Oh, for sure.
Number one, I mean, you're an ambassador. We have to go all out. And number two, are you right next to Phil at the grill?
Yes, right next door.
Well, we're going to be seeing a lot of you because we, you know, it's, what is it, dude? Red Chili Burger Wednesday or whatever it is, you know, we got to get our fix from Phil at the grill. And so, no, we're excited to have you. It's a great part of town. It's a central part of town. And so I think that'll be a little bit better location for you guys. So I'm really, really excited. So we'll keep us updated and we'll move from there. Coralie.
My all-time favorite ribbon cutting was Pop Fizz.
Oh,
I live in the North Valley. We had been to the Pop Fizz at the Hispano Cultural Center. So when they opened, they had their full production facility in Los Ranchos. I got to tour and see how they make the paletas with the owner. The mayor of Los Ranchos was there, unveiled the new development that's coming up that I'm working on as a realtor. We were eating paletas. There was, other vendors there, and we had a DJ, and it was just a really great time.
Yeah, that was a pretty amazing one. Just really neat to see all the way that they do the flavors and how they come to be, and so many collaborations. It's a great partner, Lorenzo and team and family. We really love our Pop Fizz family, and we definitely love their being over here at the Cultural Center. We really love their Frito pies. On top of paletas, they have food, and so we do. You know, there's so many to mention, and I love that we picked a few. I really loved Maria Derniker from Float Spa. It was big, it was huge. We really moved out into the parking lot and took over half the parking lot. That was a lot of fun. Dream style remodeling, that was a big one with all kinds of good, yummy food, and there's so many, but I think the point is we represent so many different industries and so many different business owners, and we want to do the same for you. So if you're out there watching and you're like, hey, I'm a technology company, or I'm a health and wellness company, or I'm a whatever kind of company you may be, an exercise or a yoga place, or, call us, let's inquire. I'll get you in touch with Valerie or Sonia. They'll get with you and talk to you about the ambassador program, how it works. And we'd love to have you as part of the family. And we definitely would love to do a celebration. We say ribbon cuttings, but ribbon cuttings can be for new businesses, for anniversaries like 10-year, 20-year. Valley Fence did a 50-year celebration this year of being in business. And that's what we do. We go out and we support those businesses because those are huge milestones and achievements that we want to celebrate with the business owner in the community. So with that being said, I'd like to kind of hop over to Sonia just for a minute. Sonia, you and Valerie are the co-chairs this year for 2021. We're excited to have you guys. And I so appreciate, I just want to say right now, I so appreciate Valerie's communication. It's off the chart. So if any of the other committees are watching, call Val and ask her, how do you do it? Because she's amazing. And we need that. I know that we put a lot of information out, but within your groups, within your little cohorts, your committees, your organizations, it's so nice to have somebody like Valerie that's saying, don't forget, or just a reminder, or we'll see you next week. And it kind of hits the forefront. And I'm like, oh yeah, 4 o'clock today, we have this. So I appreciate that. Valerie. So I just want to say that before I forget. But Sonia, I know that last year you were vice chairing, I guess you could say, the committee. And, tell us a little bit about the committee, why the ambassadors, and how does the ambassador program work?
Well, I'd like to say thanks to Diane Duran for passing her position on to me as vice chair. And then, of course, our chair had to leave our committee. So she asked me to be chair. And I couldn't do this all by myself. We are a decent sized group. And so the next person I could think of was Valerie. She is on top of everything and she keeps me on top of everything. So I do enjoy being co-chair with her. Thank you, Valerie. Okay, about the ambassador committee. Well, our job is to represent the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber and serve as goodwill. The ambassadors help welcome and recruit new members and participate in all or most chamber events and all ribbon cuttings. For we are the ones that do somewhat of the plaque presentation. And we do usually have a chair, a vice chair, a secretary, and a treasurer, but because it's just the two of us, I'm sorry, David is also co-chair of the ambassador committee. He's just been a little busy lately. And I'd like to mention that he is also chair of the Española Chamber of Commerce Ambassador Committee. So he's a busy guy. But
Actually,
yes,
I just got nominated for president of the board, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to accept it, but I did get nominated for president now for their new. So it's
good
like,
job, Dave.
I would hate to have to deny it, but I think my plate's a little bit too full.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate you. Thank you. Also, we do demand 3 months of being a member of the chamber to be able to join our committee. And I mean, it's a very little fee, you know, for the whole year. What we do with that is we throw either year-end gatherings for our ambassador committee, like for Christmas or New Year's. But basically what we do is represent the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce.
Well, you know, and Sonia, I'd like to add just a little to that. You know, the great thing about the ambassadors is that they are representing and they are representatives and they are representing themselves as well, not just the chamber.
Right.
And so a great way to get in front of new business owners, let's say you're Blanca Hernandez and you want to get in front of the latest business owner because you want to talk to them a little bit about the business that you're in and what you do. Or maybe you're Coralie and you know that this business is, well, in the case of Coralie, she's helping businesses get started before they open, but we definitely know that she's helping people in the commercial real estate side. But either way, that's how you get to them. You become an ambassador, you get to meet them firsthand, you get to know them firsthand, you get to invite them to be ambassadors. And so it's really important that I think, you know, if you're again out there watching and thinking, how am I going to revitalize, you know, here at the chamber, our 2020 or our hashtag, our mantra for 2020 is recover, reset, and rebound. I think I said that wrong, Angelique, so correct me if I'm wrong. I know that there's 3 R's, but it is recover, rebound, and reset. I think that's what it is, because it's important that now that we're kind of hoping nearing towards the end of this, what we call pandemic, but also rebounding, we need to reset our brain and our business. What are we doing? Then we need to come up with a recovery plan so that we can rebound. That's what the ambassadors are doing. They're getting the word out there. So with that being said, I'd like to bring Valerie in as one of the co-chairs. And Valerie, tell us a little bit about the ambassadors, you know, why you wanted to be a leader in this group, and what do you see for the ambassadors in 2021?
Thank you, Shannon. Well, I mean, the reason why I want to be an ambassador, you know, and have continued to be is, again, to connect with the different businesses and the membership of the Hispano Chamber of Commerce, and also to help businesses, direct them to the resources the Hispano Chamber of Commerce offers. I think people or companies join the chamber and they don't really know which way to go. You know, if you're, let's say, a yoga studio, there's the wellness committee. You know, if you're a veteran-owned business, we have a veterans committee. So it's being able to direct businesses to resources. I pride myself in being a very resourceful person to try to find out the answer to a lot of information to help businesses, you know. So I think, and then being a leader, you know, to help guide and pave the way for other businesses to help them to be successful. And what I see in 2021 is just trying to support and encourage each other, you know, in this virtual environment. I think you know, a lot of us are going through, you know, this, you know, it's tough working from home, you know, remotely, because you're not around other people. But you know, it's, you know, I think it's great to be part of this committee and lead a committee so that we can help each other grow and go beyond what we currently are doing, you know, and figuring out a way to bring on business for our own individual businesses, and how can we do that in the best way that we can, utilizing the chamber resources. So, you know, and again, I'm a very communication oriented person. So I, you know, want to be here to help other business owners succeed.
So,
Sorry.
yeah, go ahead, Sonia.
I'd like to mention that Valerie is very good at sales and marketing and networking. I have gone to a couple of, I guess you could say a meeting, but I hope she starts a podcast someday. But she has so much information for those women that need help with marketing and networking. She's that girl.
Yeah,
Just
you
thought I'd
know,
mention it.
that might be something that we look at in the future, you know, with the ambassador committee, because what I'd like to do now, that's a perfect segue into this, is we want to talk about, you know, you don't have to be in individual industries. We just happen to have a very diverse group of industries in front of us right now on the screen, you know, but we might have industries that cross. You could have a couple of restaurateurs, you could have a couple of people who own gyms, you know, as ambassadors. That's not an issue at all. But what I think is really unique is that everybody on this panel has their strength. And one of the things that we really like to do for our committees is really showcase them any way that we can. If you join a committee, the chances of you getting mentioned on a webinar, on a social media post, on a KRQE New Mexico Living segment is a lot higher, because we see you guys all the time. We see you every day. You're around, we're on phone calls, we're on Zooms, you stop by the chamber, you know, and you just happen to be a little bit more in the forefront of myself and JJ and Angelique and everybody around here. And so it's not anything on purpose. It's just, oh, that reminds me, Sonia does this or Blanca does that. So with that being said, I want to take just a few minutes and talk to you guys a little bit about your industries, because right now there is a lot of reset, recover, and rebounding happening right now. I'm going to start with Cora Lee, because I do like, you know, to always hear what's happening in real estate. I had a conversation with Cora Lee last year about real estate, actually several real estate agents, and it was a little interesting to find out how the market was going. But, you know, right now we have a lot of business owners, Cora Lee, two ways. We have business owners that are like, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to make it and I need to do something with my property. Then you have other business owners that have weathered the storm and they're ready to grow, for instance, David. So tell us a little bit about both sides from your perspective as commercial real estate.
Well, we're seeing, and I'm going to go ahead and quote the chief economist and senior vice president of research for the National Association of Realtors, Dr. Lawrence Yun. So we have had 10 years of growth through the Obama administration and through the Trump administration, 10 years of economic growth. And the US has been very strong. What I've seen since October is that leasing is up. I've had to double my efforts because we're closing, you know, 1, 2, 3 leases every month of new space at the Elvado. We've got some other new space coming online further up Central and out in Los Ranchos. And everybody that I've talked to in commercial real estate has been leasing pretty strongly over the last 3-4 months. So that's huge. So we had a dip in leasing over the summer, but business is back. We know that restaurants got hit hard. And I think most all of us are doing our best to go and order takeout, go do patio dining, do everything we can to support our local restaurants. We will see some additional restaurant space coming online, but because of the pent-up demand, I think we're going to see a lot of demand for restaurant and patio dining throughout the spring and the summer. So everybody who hung in there is going to do great. And same thing with travel. Our hotels in town have been pretty booked up to the max. There are some that closed, obviously, because they catered to conventions. But our airport hotels have done well. They've held throughout the pandemic. Everybody that I've talked to said, you know, if the capacity was 25% by order of the governor, they were at 25%. When we were at 50% capacity order, everybody was at 50%. So they're filling up to the max that they can. And this is a really safe place to travel. So I'm really, really positive about the economic forecast for New Mexico. I'm seeing solid growth. And so I think that fares well for all of the businesses.
That was really, really great information. Thank you, Carly. It crosses so many industries, and it's important that people out there keep the faith, number one, and number two, know that there's a support system within the community. If you're a small business owner and you've been struggling, reach out to this Spano. We'll connect you. Let us help you because we get it. Like Carly said, the restaurants, you know, by far have been hit the hardest. And so we are really wanting to make sure that you guys can make those connections to fill your seats, your patio seats, your indoor seating when we reopen, all of those things. And I think hearing from experts like Coralie in their industries really gives us a reason to smile and really hope to see that we're going to recover and we're going to rebound eventually. And we really need that. Blanca, I want to move over to you now. You are in marketing by nature, by trade, and what you do. I want to hear a little bit about what's been happening in the world of radio media since everything happened last year, and where you going this year with it.
Oh, wow. Obviously, you know, advertising, it's something that people, business owners automatically cut immediately because of the fear. It's understandable, totally understandable. But then you also need to realize that's how you're going to keep your business going, because people are going to be like, oh, they're still around. Like, you know, for example, Coralie said the restaurants were hit the hardest. How many times did we find out a restaurant closed when we showed up? So out of mind, out of sight. It goes along with Valerie and her business as well, you know, trying to keep businesses afloat and getting the word out there. I'm still open for business. You know, as far as advertising, people need to understand that's also a business expense. It is a business expense. So most of it's going to be tax write-off, deductible, if you will, in that sort of way, because you do need to advertise in order to let people know you're here for your services. It was a yo-yo effect for us at the radio station. Again, we do have 7 different radio stations. They all target different people, and it just started coming in slowly. Cancellation after cancellation after cancellation. So, I mean, obviously, like any other business, everybody took a hit, whether we see it minimal, whether it's huge. We're just happy that we didn't close our doors. At the end of the day, we are radio. We do get the message out there. We have music to play. So what makes people happy? Music, instead of sitting there watching the news, you know? So yeah, so it's fun. It's interesting what we plan on doing this year. I mean, the first 11 days, today's the 11th day of the year, I've literally been busy to where I'm like, oh my God, my email just keeps pinging at me right now. And I'm like, I need to check my email, guys. You know, it's so fun. It's so exciting that you're like so busy. You're like, oh my God, are we like rebounding? Are we like literally rebounding? Because that's what I want. I want to rebound, get back to the business. Obviously, my chunk of business for the company was about 72% of a hit. So working with the 38%, whatever the remaining amount is like, I'm just sitting here twiddling my thumbs, trying to find more business, trying to figure out how to help people. But then again, like you said, Shannon, if somebody's struggling, they need to reach out. They just need to reach out so we can figure out how we can help each other out. I mean, we have a variety. I mean, look at our team members, Valerie, Sonia, Coralie, David, and all the other chamber members and all the other ambassador members. I mean, we're just everywhere, and you never know who's going to help who or how you can get help or pick their brain for knowledge.
No, you're absolutely right, Blanca, and that's going to lead me to my last question when we head out. But I still want to go around and finish that. But that she's so right. You know, you don't realize that help is there, and so I think that we're gonna highlight that as we close up the hour. But let's keep going around the board. Val, I'd like to bring you in next because you're also in marketing. You've probably been in marketing all your life because you're so good at it. But you're in a form of marketing, a promotional marketing, and you did a pivot as well in 2020. So I'd love to hear from you just a minute or so, the same question, because here we are looking for inspiration and leadership. And when we have businesses like David moving locations and Valerie making that pivot and being successful, or at least keep continuing the business, it really, really helps other businesses that are suffering right now. They want to hear from you guys. So Val.
Okay, well, you know, I have been in marketing and sales, advertising over 20 plus years, from print, television, outdoor, digital. And I did make a pivot, you know, from working for a corporate company to working on my own in 2020. And, you know, one thing though, you know, offering some tips to business owners is to take a look back at, you know, 2020, what worked for you, what didn't. I think what business owners need to really key in on is, who is their target customer? What does that look like? And who is that ideal client profile? Where are they at? What kind of advertising medium are they listening to? You know, where are they on social media? I think, you know, for small business owners too, you know, you got to go back to, you know, relationship, you know, it's and being in front of the customer. So what are you doing? You know, I think some business owners, you have to, you know, take a step back too and look at your website. Have you updated your website? What kind of content do you have there? What are you doing as far as email marketing, social media, media marketing? When it comes to the online world, I spent more than 14 years in the digital advertising world, and I still keep up to date with it. But I think those are important things for small business owners to look at it. And then when it comes to the promotional products industry, of course, you know, a huge impact, you know, on the industry was a lot of big events, trade shows. People aren't, you know, the events got canceled, trade shows got canceled. You know, then the pivot was, you know, offering face masks, hand sanitizer, educational signage for businesses. I don't think we don't walk into a business these days where there's not some kind of a touchless hand sanitizer station, or there's signs, you know, social distancing, you know. But I think, you know, that's where the pivot in the industry took. But coming up in December, you know, there's, you know, the more traditional promotional items and advertising is coming back, you know, water bottles, getting your brand out there, apparel, wearing apparel, you know, and Z-Mark on target promotional products and printing service offers that. I mean, we've also offered direct mail. So that's another item. People are working from home. I think people are paying more attention to direct mail. So it's not something that's going away. So I think as far as the industry and what I am in, you know, those are some of the items that I can work with business owners and companies to help them keep their brand and their customer loyalty. You know, that's very important, in keeping your name in front of your customers, you know. And we've pivoted to, you know, virtual event giveaways. You know, there's work from home products, you know. Even going back to work, I didn't, you know, you can get your own personal humidifier now for your desk. So right now I'm in the middle of attending, that kicked off today, the Industry National Virtual Expo. So that kicked off this morning. It usually is in Las Vegas, Nevada. So we're working virtually, you know, and we're visiting exhibitors virtually so that's a lot of, you know, pivot. I think it's here to stay. We're going to continue to have this hybrid once we are able to get back in person and be able to do, you know, online or in-person trade shows. But I think there's going to be a touch of the virtual included in that. But again, you know, I think it's just, you know, we have to get back to finding out what's working for our company, but also I want to end with, you know who your target customer is. What does that look like? Your ideal client, and what are you doing? What is your messaging? How are you communicating to that ideal client? Whether it's, you know, virtually, you know, hosting an online web event or Zoom meetings. But again, it's getting your message in front of that ideal customer and where they are currently on social media or, you know, online in the virtual world.
So I want to say to Val's point, don't forget a couple of things. First and foremost, right now, PPE product is really huge. And, you know, a great way to continue brand awareness is to get your PPE branded. That's huge. And so I want to do that push right now. But I also want to let you guys know that in the meantime, if you are not able to do that in the moment and you need a couple of months to get back on your feet, the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber, in partnership with the city of Albuquerque, has PPE boxes. So if you have not picked up a PPE box, I cannot stress to you enough, they are free. These boxes are full. Masks, sanitizers, gloves, some of them even have the acrylic dividers, depending on your type of business. And we have to give them away, folks. So we've done 2 drives, we've done hundreds of deliveries, but we are back working. We will have a box for you if you just call us 842-9003, ask for John or JJ, and leave a message. If we don't answer, we check them all day long, and we will make sure and get that box in your hand. So, but in the meantime, branded PPE would be amazing. We have our Hispano masks here. And so that's a great way to get in touch with Valerie and brand some sanitizers or towelettes or wipies, that kind of stuff. So, and I also wanted to say, well, I want to move over to Sonia, because now Sonia, you're an essential business, and so you've been open, but I have to know, what has the computer business been like for you this year?
Okay, well, first of all, I'd like to mention we're afraid 2021 might not be like 2020, although it's not a good thing, but it was for us, we were essential and we are thankful. We are so lucky. Although at the beginning of the pandemic, we did shut down for about a month, and we were scared. We thought it was gonna just be like that from now on, you know, until the pandemic was over. So we did fall back a bit. But of course, you know, with the relief grants going around and all, what we did is we still paid our employees. Everybody has their bills to pay, right? So we kept them here, made them clean up the office, whatever it took, you know. But I'd say about 2-3 months after the pandemic, around April, June, July, school was going to start in August, right? So that's when things started picking up for us. And I guess all these businesses realized they're going to have to work from home. So we were here for those clients and for their business computers for home and their students at home. And we're still here for them, and we've been helping them throughout this pandemic. But yes, now we are doing okay, thankfully, and we hope that 2021 is the same, if not better, but we are not going to get our hopes up. I'd rather not have another pandemic. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we're kind of over pandemics. I definitely agree with you on that. Yeah, definitely.
I also wanted to mention, because I failed to mention that for everyone listening, the Hispano Chamber was the best decision we ever made. I have been so engaged and made so many new relationships. I have had friends that didn't know how to get their business going, and I referred them to the chamber, and now their business is booming, you know. Well, with the pandemic, maybe not so much, but I'd like to say it is a very
pre-pandemic.
Yes, it was one of the best choices I made. And because of that, I chose to be an ambassador to pass on the same gift to everybody, because as long as you're not involved, you're not getting anything out of it. But if you're involved, you're getting a lot. So just be involved.
There's so many ways to get involved, through committees, obviously through the ambassador program, and there's so many other ways. You got to head over to our website, www.ahcnm.org, and just go page by page. And I want to thank Angelique. She's the little Oz behind the curtain and all of these that you see. She's also our web guru, and she's in the middle of redesigning and doing so many new ways to help you easily navigate through the website. So I want to say thank you to her. But we have so many programs. We have to do hours and hours just on the programs that we have. So we're going to bring them to you, kind of drip them out a little bit at a time. And so with that being said, what I'd like to do is we only have a few minutes left. So I kind of want to close up on a positive note. And I want to start probably, let's start with David. Yeah, there he is. I want to start with David. David's conducting business, everybody, as he's working and doing this webinar. He is also running his business and getting set up. But I want to end on something super positive. You know, every one of you has been involved in the chamber for many of you decades. And you guys have had a lot of different experiences over the last 10, 15, 20 years with the chamber. So I'd like to know from you, what was one of the best connections you ever made with the chamber, whether it was through ambassadors, through an event, what it was, and how that relationship turned out, and how you benefited from it? Because this is where businesses go, oh my goodness, if I just had that one client. And so it is now up to you guys to share your story. So David, I want to start with you. Let's hear about a major connection you made at the chamber that really helped you propel or change the way you do business. And you know, hopefully you still have that relationship with that person.
Well, I mean, there's just so many it's hard to even think about. I mean, like when I met the payroll people that helped me with my payrolls, that really changed everything, because I was able to actually get that done, not have to worry about it. I mean, like the water store I told you, the water store just definitely propelled my whole demographic of people that I was helping, and let them understand that I'm not just a cannabis industry. I'm here to help with your health and wellness. So it's just, yeah, exactly. So it's been just a snowball of different individuals that it's hard to even put a best one on everybody, because it's like everybody on this screen right now has done something to help me. Coralie just helped me recently with information. I went to her for advice when I was trying to get my new location. So it's like everybody has contributed that I met in somehow, some way, to get me to where I'm at. And it's just incredible to even imagine that every single person has done something for me.
So what's really great about what David has said, and I realize that we probably all have, you know, a lot, and I didn't give you guys much time to prepare to pick one. So I'll let David slide on this first one. But what I think that's awesome about David is that he literally has taken a little bit from here, a little bit from there, a little bit of knowledge here, and a little bit of reach out there, and has now built to another location. You know, he's in Espanola as well. And so he's really utilizing the chamber and its members, not just what we do, but the members, to reach out and help him build his business, his empire. And so that's a huge lesson. Thank you so much, David. I'm going to move over to Coralie. Same question. Who have you met that has made a big difference in your business through either the chamber or the ambassadors?
Shannon, it's you.
Oh.
You bring joy to my life. You shoot me a text to remind me of when events happen. You've organized different, you know, ladies groups for the holidays or for happy hour. You've introduced me to business people throughout the community. And, you know, I absolutely love the Hispano Chamber of Commerce and everything that it stands for. I've had so much fun with all of the people in our group, with the ambassadors committee, the golf, you know, the golf this year, we actually got to get out on the golf course. That was huge. It was so beautiful. We got to connect in person, safely social distanced with our masks. But the chamber is a highlight in my life, and I want to thank you personally for everything you've done for all of us.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, but I appreciate you, Coralie. You know, you and I have been friends for a while now, and it is great. You're my go-to. I think of you. I'm like, we got to call Cora on this. This is something that Coralie would be really good at, blah, blah, blah. And again, guys, this goes back to being involved. I can't tell you enough. You know, when somebody the other day said, I want to get branded PPE, I was like, you got to go to Valerie. And somebody needed this, you got to go to Sonia. And that's what happens. That's, you know, I know when David was looking, the first thing I text David was, have you called Coralie? She's in the ambassadors. You got to get with her. And so I appreciate those reach outs, because sometimes we're not thinking, and that's what we're here to do, is help to connect you. So that's huge.
Shannon, I do have to say thank you. Yes, we did just recently get some of your references here, and they walked into our building. So I really do appreciate you guys very much. Believe me, I do.
Yeah. Well, that's what we try to do. You know, people are calling us, and we have our industries, and we try to be fair. And we say, here's a list of our 10, you know, computer guys or whatever. But there is some things that people need on the fly, and I know who's going to follow through and help them. And I think that those are the big things, you know. So same question to you, Valerie.
Thank you, Shannon. That's such a difficult question to answer because I've been not only worked at the chamber, but also been a member of the chamber. But I can go back to, my experience working with John Garcia and Leroy Pacheco. Under their leadership, they're still mentors to me to this day, as well as Patricia Chavez. Being a woman business owner, she has really she's been a mentor to me, specifically in this last couple years. And so I credit them, and also, being part of the ambassadors, they're each one of the ambassadors. And I have to say, Sonia too, with PC Play, she's been a great cheerleader too. And I think we've networked in different, the various ambassadors that I've worked with, with business too. It's been a great experience and positive experience. And of course, you Shannon, with your direction and leadership. And I have to mention John Lewis too for helping me out now that I'm working on other business, marketing services with another company, launching that with disinfectant and PPE that's US made. So it's been a great experience. So I can't say one person. I have to point out everyone along the way, because I think that's been a big credit to where I am today.
Well, I appreciate all of that, because it goes back to what David said, which is kind of, it takes a village, but something to make note of what Valerie said, and she threw some names out y'all may not know, but I want to say, Patricia Chavez has been part of our chamber for a very long time, several decades as well. And she is such a supporter of Hispanic women and Hispanic-owned businesses. And I appreciate Patricia. She pushes me to always excel and do better. She is such a mentor and a supporter and a cheerleader. And so I want to second what Val said about Patricia, because we love having Patricia around. And John Garcia and Libra used to be previous chairs here. Presidents here at the chamber, and how interesting that those relationships turned into mentorships. And here we are years later, Valerie, and you're still using that. And so I think that's what's amazing about the relationships you just talked about. Over the years, over a decade or plus, of how these relationships continue to fulfill and help you grow. And I just love that. That is such an amazing story. I really appreciate that. Blanca, I want to move to you. There's got to be a business or two or three that you've connected to that have really helped you, and or somebody you've met at the chamber.
Wow, it's been years and years. And honestly, I'm going to be frank and I'm going to be honest, because that's what Blanca does best. There was a moment in time where we felt as a company that we were just stagnant with our relationship with the chamber. So at that moment, I had reached out, and it was Luis Hernandez, and I don't remember the other gentleman's name. He's no longer there, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, Luis is the one that actually talked to me about the Ambassador Committee, the Hispanic Heritage Committee, all these other committees to get involved. So he's like, oh, that's the only way you're going to get out there. I do network on my own and so forth. And I joined the ambassadors, and that's why I'm part of the ambassadors. But as far as me meeting somebody that's actually impacted me, Valerie. And I feel bad because I'm always like blowing her off, because Valerie does keep you on your toes. She's female. She's so calm. She is so calm, and I'm like everywhere. I am like everywhere, right? And Valerie's just so calm. Exactly. She is so calm, and she's like, oh, okay, do this. And she's like very calm and collective. And that's what people actually need, is calm and collective. She talks about, who is your target audience? She does webinars herself. She's been in different industries. And Valerie, I've actually seen her a lot prior to joining the ambassadors. So I didn't get to meet her until I joined the Ambassador Committee.
Wow.
There's a lot of Hispano chambers are actually current clients of our radio group. And I can't say I met them through the chamber. It's just like, hey, I just keep meeting them again and again and again because of the chamber. But the opportunities are endless. But yes, as far as meeting somebody, you, Shannon, from Expo, New Mexico. That's when I met you, and now you're at the chamber.
We go back a ways, my friends.
Yeah, I know. It's like, no, that's our age. But Valerie has been an impactful person for me.
I love it. And so now we're talking about those relationships within the ambassador committee as well. So again, this hour was meant to kind of open the eyes to everybody that's out there. We're going to put this on the new ambassador page that's getting made so that people can kind of watch the webinar and kind of understand a little bit at your leisure. And I think that the most important thing is going to be that you guys really get engaged out there. Call up Sonia with PC Place. Call up Valerie with ZMark. And here's the thing. And David as well with New Mexico Brief Relief. But here's the thing, just call. If you don't know where to go, call and we'll connect you. These just happen to be the people that are leading the Ambassador Committee in 2021, but we have ways to connect you to so many different industries and people and trainings and workshops and programs and events and whatever it is. We want you to call 505-842-9003 is the chamber number. You can visit us online at www.ahcnm.org. And I want to say a huge thank you to everybody on the panel today, to our ambassadors. And I'm so excited for this year. Our year of, reset, recover, rebound is going to be huge for us with this committee. Once again, thank you to everybody that's been on here. We'll make sure that you have access to this video. We'll post it on the page and it will stay on social media because I just had somebody text and go, I missed all of it. That's okay. I know you caught the last 5 minutes, but you can replay this back at your leisure at any time. Thank you to our team here at the Hispano. Thank you to all the other ambassadors that could not join us. Hello to Diane Duran, who is out there, who's been commenting. Keith Copson, who is a new member as well. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you. And we will see you guys at the next ambassador meeting, which is when? Valerie?
Oh, last Tuesday of every month.
Last Tuesday of the month.
Okay, at what time?
1 o'clock.
At 1 o'clock, and we're going to be virtual. So if you would like to be part of that, reach out. We'll send you the link. And as soon as we can do in live and in person, you'll be the first to know. Everybody have a great second week of 2021. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.